What's going on, everybody? It's Temptation, and welcome back to another Battlefield 3 video. Today marks the release, or yesterday marks the release, of the Aftermath downloadable content for Battlefield 3 on the PC and Xbox Premium players. Now, if you're not Premium, you're going to have to wait another week, but since I'm Premium and the majority of people are, this is what you're gonna get. Starting yesterday, as I said, I'm recording this the day of. Just got some nice gameplay of it. And as you saw on the main screen, it's Azadi Palace, I believe is how you say it. And this is Scavenger mode, the main mode that is new in the Aftermath expansion. Just like they did in Close Quarters, or not Close Quarters, but Armored Kill, where you had the, or both of them actually, they added one new game mode per expansion. So that's what they're continuing to do here. And this game mode, it takes some getting used to, let me tell you that. But we've seen trailers for it, and I just kind of want to give my basic first impressions of it. So this game mode, like it implies, Scavenger mode. What does that sound like? Well, you're going around, and I'm moving my hands around like you guys can see me, but you can't. But you run around your map, and you see these little tooltips pop up, these little holographic tooltips, and you see those pop up with a different rank symbol on them. Now, I believe there's 3 ranks, or from what I could tell when I was playing. There's 3 different classed guns, 1, 2, and 3 rank, and your level 1 rank are just low SMGs, just like this one. They have minimal attachments, usually a laser sight, or yeah, that's really about it. Maybe a silencer or something like that on them as well. Then you have your level 2 guns. Those include shotguns and the crossbow, and I believe snipers as well. Don't quote me on that though. And then the level 3 guns include your assault rifles and all the things like that. So you start out with a pistol. You can choose your pistol, and you can choose your squad perk and things like that. You just can't choose the attachments or anything for your weapons, because you're finding those weapons on the fly. You're not going to be able to choose the attachments for that. But here's the crossbow. I had this for a little bit, and it is just, I mean, that thing is powerful. Overpowered? I don't think so. I don't really think any of these weapons in the mode are overpowered, and I think that's kind of what makes this mode really a lot more fun than we thought it was going to be. A lot of people thought this mode, a lot of the guns were going to be overpowered, and especially the crossbow, but I think they've done a really nice job balancing these weapons, especially the crossbow. Now you'll notice down in the bottom right hand corner, your ammo is limited. If I go and pick up a new gun, it's most likely only going to have 1 to 2 magazines in it. So that makes it limited. Obviously, it's not going to be overpowered because you can't use that gun the whole match. So, basically, you run around, you find this gun, it's got 2 magazines in it. That's enough to maybe kill 4 people if you're spraying. If you're really precise and you hit everybody on one shot, you know, maybe it's enough for a squad or a swarm of people. But other than that, after you kill those people, you got to find another gun. So you're always on the lookout for new guns, and if you find one, you might as well pick it up. On the note of picking up guns, though, it's a little weird, because you got to run around and you have to press R, which is your kit switch button, okay? Now, at first glance, it says to hold down R to pick up the weapon. So you go, you hold R. It takes a minute. It takes a few seconds to pick up your weapon. And so you have to kind of be on the lookout, make sure there's nobody by the weapon you want before you go and pick it up. And then when you actually do pick it up, you've got to slow down and you got to pick it up. And at least that's what I thought. But now, actually, you can still sprint once you see a weapon in your sight, and you can sprint, and I'll demonstrate this later in the round, I believe. You can sprint, hold down your R key, and you can still pick that up just like that. I mean, you're still gonna have to do a little pivoting, looking around, making sure nobody's there, but in that case, you know, it's gonna be a little bit easier but you still got to be on the lookout. So you're not going to be able to switch just right in a row and still be able to guard yourself. Now back to the crossbow is something that I wanted to go ahead and hit a little heavier on. This is similar to the issue that they've had with bolt action sniper rifles, and they've had issues balancing these, people complaining about one hit kill, all that kind of stuff. Crossbow, yes, it's one hit kill in the chest or head. I'm not sure about the legs, but I know in the chest or the head it is a one hit kill weapon. Now to compensate for that, of course people are going to be mad, oh, that guy just no skill, just shot me. It does take a little bit of skill to aim, in fact, and it takes a while to reload. You're limited on ammo. I believe here we go again. You have exactly 9 arrows in the crossbow, okay? And I think I die right after this. But you have 9 arrows, okay? And it's one hit kill. So you can basically kill 9 people with this if you're alive the whole time. Now once I shoot this, you'll see the reload time if I do shoot it. I don't know if I ever end up shooting it. No, I don't. But the reload time is quite significant. I'd say it's about 2 to 3 times longer than any other weapon in the game. And of course, you know, that makes it less overpowered. It makes it more balanced because you can't just shoot and then shoot another guy right next to the guy. You're going to have to be forced to use your knife or your pistol or something like that. So that's, you know, I think they've done a really good job balancing these new weapons to fit in with the game. And I feel like that's what DICE has been doing good at this whole time that Battlefield 3 has been released, is balancing the weapons. I feel like that's one thing that a lot of other studios don't get, but they've been listening to the community and they've been balancing the weapons for us, which I think is awesome. Now onto the maps of the expansion pack. These maps they don't seem very big, or area-wise now, but they do go up a lot. Now you'll notice this one is, since it's the Aftermath, you're in a city. You're in Baghdad or wherever it is that they did this. I don't know the city. I don't really care. All I care is that it's a good map and then it looks good and plays good. So these maps are not substantially big in area like Armored Kill. I'd say they're more on par with the normal maps. Not as big as some of the bigger maps, but it's their average size maps. The problem is when you start getting into these multiple layered buildings. Since this is, I believe it said the map is a tower of some sort, you've got 2 to 3 stories in these buildings, and these are big buildings. And you can tell by how much I'm running in these clips, it's like these ceilings are 20 feet high, and you've got these giant open areas and these close areas, and it's a really good combination of those two. The buildings are all shaken by earthquakes. As you all know, it's Aftermath, after the earthquake. And so you've got walls torn down, you got ceilings caved in, all that kind of stuff that kind of aids to the map ambiance, if you will. And it makes it kind of, yeah, it just makes it kind of cool. This is just one of the maps. Now, I believe there's 4 new maps, and there may be more, but I think it's 4. I've played 3 of them. 3 of the maps, they're pretty much all based around buildings. There's one that kind of reminds me of Grand Bazaar in a way. It's not raining, it's in the desert, but it's that same type of open market feel. It's a little more closed, and the whole thing is basically your market. You can jump from rooftop to rooftop finding new weapons and things like that. Whereas the other 2 maps that I've played are both towers. Not like Zeba Tower, because Zeba Tower is really only one story. If you think about it, one playable story. You got 2 stories, but I'd count them as one. In these maps, you can have 2, 3, 4 stories that you can access. And that really does add a level of surprise into the game as well, because you can go into a map and you can be on the ground level and look up and there's a guy on the 3rd story of a building. And then what are you going to do? You going to aim at him and shoot him with your pistol? Probably not. You're probably going to die. So it's different because you don't have that same linear play that you did before. Now it's angular almost, if that makes sense. Because you're having to look up, down, left, right, Instead of just left, right, it's up, down, left, right, you know, everywhere you can imaginably think of. These maps are huge. Vertically, not horizontally, although they are fairly large horizontally compared to the close quarters maps and things like that. But scavenger mode, I'd say, you know, I think this one was actually a 64 player server, and scavenger mode is made for 32 players. So I'd say, you know, experience is not the best on a 64 player server. If you're going to play scavenger mode, go to a 32 player server. You're going to get less lag and things like that. But the 64 player, yeah, not the best experience. 32 players, probably where you're going to want to hit it. Maybe even less. 24 players might be even better for you. Who knows? But the maps themselves, the optimization of the pack, I feel is not up to spec with the main maps, Armored Kill and Close Quarters. I feel like they rushed this one out a little bit. And the maps in general just don't seem as optimized as the previous versions. Now the maps, you know, they're great maps and all, but I just feel like they didn't put the time in to actually optimize the maps for us to where they performed on par with all of the other maps. It just doesn't seem quite as good. You know, in most earlier games, I was getting 60 frames a second constant, you know, no frame drop or anything like that. And today on these new maps, I'm getting like 45 frames a second. That could be because they're such big vertically and there's so much more to render in your field of view since it's smaller but also taller. That could be a factor in it. Who knows? But all I know is that I did have to lower my settings to actually play these maps well. I had to lower them down to medium, some low, to get this to play right. And you shouldn't really have to do that. If I have to do that in a game, I'm most likely not going to play the game too much if I got to lower the settings to get it to run right on good hardware. So, I mean, you know, let's just do a little bit of a wrap up here. New DLC, Aftermath. This is the third. Let's see. We got Back to Karkan, Close Quarters, Armored Kill, and then this one, Aftermath. So this is the fourth out of 5. The last one is Endgame. That will be coming out sometime next year, I assume. For a fourth DLC, I feel like they're still adding new content, which is great. Usually a lot of it's just maps, and the maps sometimes aren't very good. But I feel like they've kind of kept in the realm of Battlefield where it needs to be. They've kept the vehicle gameplay in this, but as well adding a new mode for infantry, which kind of makes it interesting. It's not just that straight conquest now. You've got a choice of different game modes to play that are also very fun. So I think they've stayed on track with this. Hopefully in Endgame we see something even better that blows our minds like crazy. Who knows? But you know, this Aftermath expansion, if I had to give it a rating, I'd probably give it an 8.5 out of 10. And that's a pretty good rating. I'm not going to lie. It's a pretty good rating, and 8.5 out of 10, it's not bad. And I believe I just said the same thing about 20 times, but who knows? I've been saying who knows a lot too. Who knows? I know who knows. I do. Anyways, guys, but if you don't have Battlefield Premium and you want to pick up this expansion pack, I believe it's going to run you about 20 bucks, 15 to 20 bucks. You might wait for a sale on it, but I'd say it's definitely worth it, if only just to get the scavenger mode. I don't know if you can get the scavenger mode on other maps or if it's strict to this game and this expansion. But if you're looking for a little idea or a little game to spice up your Battlefield 3 life, you need to check this out. For non-premium players, again, it's going to go live a week from yesterday for you guys. So you want to buy it now, get it downloaded, you can do that. But guys, thanks for watching this little review or first impressions video or whatever you want to call it over the Aftermath expansion for Battlefield 3. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did enjoy playing and making this for you guys. If you liked it, please do leave a like down below and subscribe for me. See you guys.